Hey everyone, today we're going to do something different. We're going to do two jigs, and the both of them are going to be the same style, and it's going to be one color but two different patterns. To explain how that happens, I'll let you in on why we have one color with two different patterns. So the first one is a 5/16 ounce weedless round head jig, 2-aught Mustad 32-796 hook, and the color is roadkill. And I know it's hard to see with this light, but it's basically just plain old Protect Gold and watermelon over top. And that's basically what roadkill is, like a watermelon gold type of a deal. And I'll explain why we're doing two jigs in a little bit, but we're going to start with some olive 210 denier flat wax nylon thread, and we'll get a little bit of a base started here and cut my excess off. And we're going to start out with a half a tab of watermelon roadkill. And what I did was I cut everything in half to make it easier to distribute around the jig. Better get some clips out here in case I need them. But we're going to take, which is a quarter tab here, it's a half tab cut in half, 6 strands. It's going to be a 44 strand skirt. We're going to take the half a tab of this and just put it around the bottom half of our jig. Make sure we got enough coverage. And we're going to take the other quarter of that and do the same thing. You don't want to get them too messed up. It doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as you have coverage all the way around with it. And we do. So then I'm going to take some opaque watermelon. I apologize for the light. It's not the best. But I'm taking this opaque watermelon, and we're going to do the same thing. Going to put it on here. Tie it in, make sure we have it going at least halfway around. That's the hard part with this. Trying to get it to move without moving the rest of the stuff. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put that quarter tab or a half of a half, however you want to say it, on the bottom. Again, this is a very easy jig, a very easy color, a very good color, by the way. And now we're going to take a full tab cut in half of this watermelon roadkill. And all it is, it's basically a watermelon with a gold sheen to it. It looks really good in the water. Very natural color. Half there. Flip it up. And yes, this is a finesse style jig. Primarily where I use this color is in finesse. But you could do it with any jig. You could use this pattern. Like I said, it's really good. It's really natural. Anywhere you have those brown bottoms, this is one of those patterns that works really well. Blends in. Okay, I'm going to take my clip here and just get this material held down while I finish up the collar. Once I'm satisfied with it, take our whip finish tool. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cinch. And one more time. Trying to hurry up here so I could get this second one done in a decent amount of time. Take our head cement. Just above the head. Take our clip off. And we're going to cut these free. Oh, about 2 inches behind that hook bend. Once I have all the strands free. And don't worry about cutting it long. You can always take more off. If you cut it short, you can. So I'm going to take some super glue gel here. And we're going to put a weed guard in. I can actually take some more off the top here. You got a little bit long with it. And there we have it. This is roadkill. A good color trailer to use with this is watermelon. But this is your basic roadkill. Now, the reason we're doing 2 is because we're going to do roadkill again. And this is going to be different. And this is how my color patterns evolve. It has to do with new material being released. If you pay attention to lure crafting and those types of sites, the lure supply sites, you'll notice that there's always some kind of new color, skirt material or something coming out. And in this case, we have roadkill color paint, which is a green gold, almost a bronze color. It's really good. I wasn't sure how this would be until I looked at it in the water. I really like it. But between that paint and then a new material, a new color skirt material to me that I found, is this roadkill Dalmatian. And it has that same look, but it's darker, and it actually works really well with this paint. So what I found myself, the situation I found myself in was ending up with 2 different color roadkills. So now I differentiate them. This is just plain roadkill, and this one will be roadkill camo. And it's just because basically the print that's on it. So we'll show you what that one's all about here. We're going to start again The same olive 210 denier flat wax nylon thread. Once we have our base, we're going to start with a half a tab. If you have to know the strand count, it's 2 full tabs, which is 44 strands. But we take a half a tab of this roadkill Dalmatian. That's what it is, roadkill Dalmatian. And flip it up. Put a half over here. Sometimes these strands fall right into place. Sometimes they don't want to go where you put them. We're good. Now, watermelon roadkill. I don't know if it's easier to see it from a distance or up close on here, but basically it's like when you see it there, that little bit of light, it glimmers gold. And that is the main thing with this. It's a different look, but it's surprisingly natural in the water. As I said before, I just, that kind of blows me away, because you look at it and you think, what's that supposed to be? And then when you see it on like a lake or a river bottom, it's like, oh, okay, I understand it now. See where the color came from. Why they called it roadkill is beyond me, but I understand the idea of it. And we will put the other half, or I should say quarter of a tab. I get tongue-tied with that. Now I'm going to put my clip on here because we're starting to get out of hand. And now we're going to take a full tab, which half and a half of this roadkill again. So we have roadkill on the bottom, or roadkill Dalmatian on the bottom, watermelon roadkill in the middle, and then roadkill Dalmatian over top. Just 2 colors. 1.5 tabs of the roadkill Dalmatian, and a half a tab of watermelon roadkill. And the other one, we have 1.5 colors of watermelon roadkill and a half a tab of opaque watermelon. Just to add that, get a little bit of extra watermelon color in there. I always thought that looked good with that. So that's how I always tied that pattern. But when this material came out and I finally got some along with the paint, it was like, wow, that's 2 roadkills, basically the same thing, but they really look different. 1 color, 2 patterns. So I had to differentiate them. Like I said, this one here, I decided it was going to be my roadkill camo, and the other one's just plain roadkill. That's how I keep track of it now. Looks pretty good. Let's throw that over top. Get it out of my way. Cut it. And take our head cement. Dropping everything. Clip. You cut our top. It's just above the head. Now, if I was using Sally Hansen's or super glue gel, it'd be a little bit before I could handle this. I'd handle it anyway, but what would happen is I'd end up with sticky fingers after the video was done. And I'd be in there scrubbing them with lighter fluid. Yes, lighter fluid does a good job of getting super glue off your fingers. And there it is. That's roadkill camo and plain roadkill. Two colors, one pattern. Kind of crazy to me. That's why I wanted to do the two. But you could see how the colors are similar yet very different. This one's a little darker than this. This has more green in it. So take your pick or do both of them. Thanks for watching.